Hours before critical peace talks in Washington, Ukraine faced a devastating wave of attacks. Russia launched missiles and drones, striking cities and tragically killing civilians, including children. Today, we break down what happened, why it matters, and what's next in the escalating conflict. Overnight, Russia targeted multiple Ukrainian cities in a brutal assault. Kharkiv, Ukraine's second-largest city, suffered some of the heaviest strikes. Regional Governor Oleh Syniehubov reported at least 4 people killed, including a 1-year-old girl and a 16-year-old boy, with 18 others injured. This attack is particularly shocking because it came just hours before Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky arrived in Washington for a high-stakes diplomatic meeting. The timing raises questions about whether this was intended to pressure Ukraine ahead of the talks or send a political message to the international community. Zelensky's arrival in Washington marks a rare opportunity for direct dialogue with key Western leaders. He is scheduled to meet not only the US president, but also European figures, including British Prime Minister Keir Starmer, French President Emmanuel Macron, German Chancellor Friedrich Merz. The goal of these meetings is to coordinate international support for Ukraine, discuss sanctions against Russia, and explore diplomatic pathways to reduce civilian suffering. However, the recent attacks underscore the fragility of peace negotiations. Even high-level diplomacy hasn't prevented violent escalation on the ground. It's impossible to overstate the human toll. Civilian casualties, especially children, highlight the brutal reality of war. Each strike not only destroys infrastructure, but shatters families and communities. Psychologists warn that witnessing violence at this scale leaves generational trauma with long-term effects on children and survivors. As viewers, we often focus on politics and strategy, but the human cost is profound and immediate. Why did Russia strike at this moment? Analysts suggest multiple reasons. 1, pressure on Ukraine, to show military dominance just as Zelensky seeks diplomatic support. 2, signaling to the West, a warning that peace talks may not halt Russian military operations. 3, internal messaging, rallying domestic support by projecting strength abroad. These attacks complicate diplomacy, but they also galvanize international attention, potentially increasing foreign support for Ukraine. The coming days are critical. Washington meetings could result in strengthened financial and military aid to Ukraine, renewed discussions on sanctions and accountability for civilian attacks, potential pathways for ceasefire negotiations, though the risk of continued escalation remains high. For global viewers, this conflict is not just geopolitical. It's a test of international law, human rights, and the resolve of democratic alliances. We want to hear from you. Do you think diplomacy can prevent further civilian attacks? How should the international community respond to strikes timed around peace talks? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. If this update helped you understand the stakes, hit like and subscribe for continuous coverage and analysis of world events.